talking about roasts again today, and I'm talking about a lamb rack, an 8-bone lamb rack or a best end lamb rack with the cap on. So another John Stone product. So just when you get it, take it out of the bag, get rid of the bag. The cap on just means that this fat cap is on. If you don't like your lamb, if you like it really lean, this very easily comes off, and I'm going to show you with that one. But for roasting purposes, I just want to run my knife along here, and I'm going to just in a diagonal manner. So as you can see, I've ran along just scoring, and then the other way. And then I have a pan on, a heavy based pan on here that I'm going to put in a little bit of oil. I'm going to season up the back of that lamb on that fat and on the other side. And then what I'm going to try and do is render that fat down. So as you can hear, that's nice and hot. I'm going to fire the heat up a little bit. And I'm going to cook that in the pan for maybe 4 or 5 minutes so we get that fat nice and crispy. Then I'm going to put it onto the tray and I'm going to roast it in the oven at about 190 degrees for maybe 15-20 minutes, and then I let it rest because I want to serve it nice and pink. The other one, it's the same product. I've already taken it out of the bag. I'm going to take that strap, that back fat off, just to show you the difference. So you can nearly just pull it off with your hands. So if you like your lamb much leaner, this is a way that you can just take that fat off, and already you can get a delicious smell coming off that. And what I'm going to do with this one is, I'm going to just take that off there, take a little bit more of that fat off. And as you can see now, we're dealing with the loin, okay? Now, I could, if I wanted to, I could clean all these bones up, but in a restaurant situation I probably would, but at home, I'm going to leave it alone. I'm going to sear it off, and then I'm going to put a nice breadcrumb crust onto it, okay? So to do that, I have some soft white breadcrumbs, and here I've already chopped some thyme and some rosemary, or some thyme and some mint. I'm going to add that into my breadcrumbs. Good pinch of salt and a really, really good twist of pepper. Okay, and then I'm going to sear that off and brush it with Dijon mustard after it's been seared off and dip it into the breadcrumbs. So I just want to show you now, I can smell and I can see that fat is starting to render down. So I want to just turn it up on its side. I'll turn it around so I can show you a nice caramelization. So we're going to keep cooking that. You can see that's going nice and crispy, and that's going to roast up beautifully. So I'm going to turn it back over, and I'm going to continue to cook that fat side down, as I said, for about 4 or 5 minutes. And then I'm going to do the other one, and I'm going to show you how to roast the both of them at the same time, cook them nice and medium. A perfect, delicious roast rack of lamb. Okay, so I want to show you what to do with this other one. So same principle as before. We're going to season it up with a little bit of salt. That's just some rock salt. And then some of that fat is in the pan, so carefully lower it into the pan, being careful not to splash yourself. And again, a little bit more seasoning to the salt, and give that a good sear. This one won't take as long to sear because I've taken that fat off the back. But I just want to show you this other one now. As you can see, that fat has gone nice and crispy, and then we're going to roast that in the oven for another 15-20 minutes till it's nice and medium. Okay, so with this other one that I've taken the fat off, as I said, I'm going to give it a good sear. I'm going to take it off, I'm going to let it cool a little bit. I'm going to give it a good brush with some Dijon mustard, and then I'm going to dip it into this mix of breadcrumbs, mint and chopped thyme. I've seasoned that with plenty of salt and pepper. So this one is going to be a herb crusted rack of lamb roast, and then I've got my roasted cap on rack of lamb. Okay, so as you can see, I've seared off the lamb. So this is the one with the cap taken off, and this is the one with the cap on. So with the cap taken off, I just have some Dijon mustard here with a pastry brush, and I'm going to brush the back of that loin with some Dijon mustard. And then I'm just going to season it up again with a little bit more salt and pepper. And then I'm going to dip that into this lovely herb crust that I have here. So you want to really push it down because we want that to stick in the back for us. So the loin has a nice hard crust along. I'm going to just sprinkle a little bit more on there. So this is going to roast into the oven now. So just to give you a quick recap, we've got some soft breadcrumbs, some chopped mint, some chopped thyme and salt and pepper. We brushed the loin with a little bit of Dijon mustard, and now I'm going to pop that into the oven. So I've got a herb crusted rack of lamb and I've got a roast rack of lamb. So this goes into a preheated hot oven now at 190 degrees for 20 minutes. Then we're going to take it out and let it rest for another 10 minutes, and then I'll carve a cutlet and show you. So the lamb has had the 20 minutes in the oven. And as you can see, beautiful roasted, crispy caramelized fat. And then we have this wonderful herb crust on the other one. So, two best end racks of lamb. One I took the cap off, brushed it on Dijon mustard, put a herb crust. The other one I've left the cap on, seasoned it really well with plenty of salt and pepper and sea salt. And then I've roasted it at 190, 200 degrees for 20 minutes after it's had the sear. But the most important to cook any joint of meat is to let it rest. Because what we're going to do now is all the juices in the meat will stay in the meat, it'll all rest. The heat from the outside will make its way onto the inside, and then this will guarantee it being nice and tender when we carve. So that has to sit there now for at least 15 minutes to let the meat relax. Now this lamb has had good 15 minutes to rest. I'm going to just carve it now into a couple of cutlets to show you. So as you can see, it's nice and medium. Do another one. On there. And then the one with the crust. Just be nice and gentle with this one because you don't want all the crust to fall off. So you just run your knife down along the bone. The lads have taken the triangle bone off the back, as you can see. Lovely herb crusted rack of lamb. We're doing a load. So you just push your knife, as you can see here, down in between the bones and just run it all the way down. Knife do the work with a little carve. So, best end of lamb, roasted, one with a herb crust, one with the cap on. Enjoy.